Hi, hello, welcome. So this is the long-awaited last part of my bedroom makeover. So it's gonna be the full thing in this video. Like, you're gonna see the full bedroom finally finished. Believe me, this has taken months and months and months of work, and the editing, I've had so many hours of clips to cut down, and I also got in the middle of all of it, so yeah, it's taken a lot longer than I ever anticipated it would, but you know, that's just what happens sometimes, innit? So without any further ado, I'm not gonna pull this out anymore because the video's honestly long enough as it is. So yeah, here's the last part, and please enjoy. Hello. Hi. So in case I haven't introduced this yet, we are in my bedroom. That sounded, well, a lot more suggestive than I wanted to do when I said it out loud, but yeah, we are in my bedroom because we are going to be doing a bit of a renovation of this bedroom, so you're going to be seeing a lot of me. So for this part, I'm going to be doing like probably 3 parts because I will be decorating my bookshelf that you can see like over there, hopefully. Yeah, my bookshelf. And my closet, that's over there, you can see peeking forth there. And of course, the rest of this room, you know? So let's just have a bit of a look, shall we? Before we get started. That's my work light, so allow me to just blind you for a bit there. There's a lot of things to do, as you can see. There's a lot of nails, a lot of holes from where I've hung things up. This whole thing that needs to be tore off from the wall because it's just like band like this, and I want that off because it's been starting like earlier. We had of course pulled this off, but like earlier it had started to like crack like this place, and it doesn't look very good, so we're going to be taking that away, of course. Little cat scratches. I've had a cat that really loved climbing into my window, and we need to fix it, you know. She left some damages, shall we say. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot of this work from now on for like at least a week, I'm guessing. Spoiler alert, in case you didn't guess it, this took a lot longer than a week. Still waiting for some supplies for this bookshelf. We're going to just sand down every area that we've been on. I'm gonna try pulling off this band, like I said, and I'm gonna have to sand the edges all around after doing that. And I'm also going to very lightly sand the roof because I am a builder. I hope I showed you this because look at this, alright, have a look at that. Have a look at that indeed. And in this clip I'm using acrylics to patch up the old holes in my roof from earlier water damage, and it's one of the first times I've ever used acrylics properly like this, and I'm doing a pretty bang up job. Look at me go, look at me. I've done that. I can see one of them is actually not great, sadly. I'm probably going to have to put some sparkle on that one. But the other ones are looking good, yeah? I think so. I'm a builder, man. Pulling out a few nails with this bad boy. And of course, sanding, like I said, scraping down. And then, of course, we've got some sparkle to put on the holes, you know, because that has to dry like a shit ton, and then I have to sand that over yet again. So there's a lot of work, but that's fine, we can manage. So as you can see now, right, wherever you pulled out, can you please, there, wherever I've pulled out like a nail, like this, that's been painted over before, there's like these little nubbins that we have to cut down. So we're gonna do that. I for some reason thought you needed a close-up of this intriguing saga. You're welcome. Okay, you're seeing more than just my ass in this whole fucking shot, you know? Otherwise that would be a little bit sad, wouldn't it? I'm short, okay? Don't believe me. I'm short. I have a short roof, and yet I have to stand on my tippy toes. Leave me alone. Alright, something else that needs to be done on these walls is take off this. So I think we're gonna have to try to do that. So that is how we do that, with the little screws in there. So that's how you don't fucking lose them, you know? Because that would really suck. Because they are tiny as fuck. And it fucking works. I didn't lose a single screw. Nope. And of course, every good project needs a little dog intermission. So yeah, we're just gonna continue trying to get off this band. Unless you really need some attention first. We'll see, alright? But yeah. Oh, that felt nice. That helps. This whole process took a really long time, so the excitement over pulling off those long pieces is very much so genuine. That's not bad, is it? With that, all the middle wallpaper pieces are off and it's time to start sanding. And this is where the spackling nightmare begins. I then decided to give myself even more of a headache and cut out the corners of the wallpaper that you can see here to even those out. You see, the wallpaper tends to like bubble up and move with age, I suppose, and they get all bubbly and weird, and it looked weird, so I wanted to cut them out and make them fully even. It is at this point I realise that, oh no, something's not right, and see that the remaining paper from the wallpaper trim is bubbling up underneath the spackle and starting to come off. A lot of scraping ensues, and after a couple of hours of wetting and carefully peeling off the remaining paper, this is what we're left with. At this point, I called in some help to finish the spackling because I was over it, man. It had been days at this point with me just spackling and sanding and spackling and sanding all over again, and new problems just kept showing up, and I was just over it at this point. I wanted to get to the fun part of painting the lovely new colours of the wall, not spackling for days and days and days. After all that spackling and a lot of sanding, this is what we're left with. With that done and everything covered, we are finally ready to start painting. So yeah, first of the roof is finally fucking done, and I am warm and sweaty and just, it's like a fucking sauna in here. Have a look at that. Do you see that? There is steam on this window and it is open, and yet I die. While that first layer on the roof dries, we move on to the window and the door. This all took a really long time, and it's basically just this boring off-white colour anyway, so I'll save you the rest of the layers on these. After a couple more layers, this is the result of our hard work. And here's just me, struggling to remove the outlet covers from my wall. Jesus. Well, that was fucking hard. Okay, so for a bit of an update, I had been taping down everything, like the top and the bottom of the floor and everything, and I covered everything, and gotten absolutely everything ready to finally start painting the walls. But of course, when I started picking off the outlets on my wall, it tore it up. It started tearing the, what's it called, wall covering, like the wall. yeah, we started tearing at that bit.
Can you tell I'm tired and exhausted at this point?
To the extent that when you put them back on, the coverings of the outlets, you will see like this damage on the wall on the side. Meaning I'll have to spackle it again! That's fun, isn't it? And wait for that to dry, and then for the millionth time during this fucking project, I'll have to sand it down. And boy am I tired of sanding shit down. Believe me, I really, really, really am.
So, I think I'd forgotten to mention this in any of my recordings, but up until this point, I had to spackle and wait for that to dry and then sand over every single wall in my bedroom, I think about 4 separate times, because problems just kept showing up constantly. I swear, this whole process just seemed absolutely cursed. And in the end, I just had to finally give in and just ask my dad and be like, please can you help me? My dad's a carpenter, so you know. And I was like, please, can you help me? I cannot do this anymore. I cannot spackle and sand these fucking walls another time. I'm going to break something. Can you please help me? And so he did, and finally, after like several rounds, it was fine for me to paint on. But at this point, I was just exhausted by this whole process.
Luckily, it's not a big area this time, but still it's very annoying because that dust is very, very, very thin, fine dust, which will cover everything, like absolutely everything. I'll try to do my best to spackle it. I'm not going to do that on camera. I don't have that in me. And to make matters worse, we have a bat in the house again for like the 3rd fucking time, like in far too short of a time span. For some reason, they're all really fucking stupid and they refuse to fly out, even when you open like the doors open wide everywhere. They fly anywhere but outside. So she had gotten into my room because I tried to close it off, but because of wires and stuff like that from my room that I'm working on right now, I have wires going through the doors of the room that I'm sleeping in, meaning I can't close the fucking door, and started zooming over my head in the middle of the night at like 2:30. So that woke me up and I had to just run up and go to another room and sleep there. Whoever the fuck has it out for us with the fucking bats, could you not? Because this is getting a bit insane. If you're having a shit day, if you're struggling with some projects, just know that other people do too. It's me, I'm other people. I'm struggling with my fucking decisions. Oh, and by the way, before I end it, the fucking bat is still in the house. I didn't mention that, I don't think. But yeah, it's still in the house. It just won't fucking leave. So I've just closed up the door. I will try and save it later, don't get me wrong, but I tried all night yesterday. They're not easy to catch, okay? I don't know if you've ever had an experience with having bats in your house and trying to humanely catch them and release them outside. It's not fucking easy. They don't help you with that, you know? And I don't want to hurt it, but they also scare me a little bit. Like, all I want to do is help you, little guy, okay? Like, can the bats please stop? Bat King, please, cut it out, King. King, come on, you know, cut it out. He's in the room I am sleeping in currently, and sadly so is my phone charger, my clothes, and my earplugs. So yeah, the bat's definitely taken those hostage. So I'm gonna have to venture in there at some point and just hope that he's hanging upside down chilling, because it's in the middle of the day, so I can at least get my phone charger so I can continue to film. So yeah, we'll see how this progress goes, won't we? Oh, and also I have a fucking tattoo tomorrow. So everything is happening at once, honestly, and yeah, this is not the plan. I'll update you on both the room situation and the bat situation, yeah. So we'll have to see how that goes, but yeah, that was my little update. So you know what I'm dealing with.
Here the outlets are all spackled up on the side and ready to be sanded down. Update. I've entered into my room, the bat-ridden one, and got my charger and my earplugs and my pants. So yeah, yay, at least I have that now. And with that, everything is taped up and covered, and we are finally ready to start painting with our first proper colour of this room.
And there is my very loyal little dog.
Always staying in the middle of all the paint, because why not, you know? So this is the color that we are going to be painting with first. This is the light color that is going to be on this wall, and all on top of that, and all the way to there, to here, you know. So this wall here is going to be like a darker color as an accent wall. At this point I'd run out of stirring sticks, so I'm just using an old broken ruler for this. Don't question my methods. It is at this point a foul, eight-legged creature decided to jump out and attempt to give me a heart attack once again. Why? Hvor er du? You bastard. Kom fram. Äckling. Hva gjør du her? Liksom, hallo? Hvem sa at du kunne være her? I'm scared. And then, as soon as the foul eight-legged creature had been captured... Excuse me, nå er jeg nettopp... Get out! I'm nettopp... Let me tell you, the animal kingdom really was coming for me at this point in time. Spiders, bats, mice, bugs, you name it. And at this point I was over it. So that's the first layer of the lighter colour finished. I did film the two other layers as well, but seeing as this video is quite long already and we've still got more to go, I'm gonna leave that footage out. The colour is so light that you can't really see much of a difference on camera anyway, so yeah, you're not missing much. Just trust me on that one. And let's move on to removing the tape. Unfortunately, the tape ripped off some paint in some of the areas, so I'm gonna have to go over those and do a few small touch-ups. After removing the tape and doing said touch-ups, this is the result we're left with thus far. After taping up the sides, we are ready to start painting the final wall, which is going to be, like I said, the accent wall in a darker colour. At this point in the project, the only paint roller I had left was this tiny shitty one, which is why this is taking way longer than necessary. And here we are onto the second layer of this wall, and I'm gonna leave the second layer of this one in the video because you can actually see a bit of a difference because, like I said, a darker colour, easier to see, easier to pick up on the camera, you know? And by this point the bigger paint roller was dry too, so a lot more efficient this time around. And this is where the curse of this project continues and things start going wrong again.
Oh, what? You're kidding.
What the fuck?
That's right, the tape had come for me once more. As you can see, the tape had torn off rather large chunks of the paint in the corner, and yeah, I was angry at this point. But anywho, we still soldier on, removing the rest of the tape, and after doing touch-ups to fix what that horrible tape ruined on that wall as well, and cleaning everything, this is how the room looks. We're still missing the furniture and decorations though, but the next time you see this room, it will be fully completed. A main piece of the room decor finally arrived, namely this lovely neon lamp I ordered a while back. I thought it was just absolutely lovely and that it would suit the new vibe of the room perfectly. So yeah, it's gorgeous, two-coloured, dimmable and just absolutely lovely, and I'm really looking forward to getting it up on my wall. And since I didn't quite feel like I was done torturing myself with random projects yet, I of course decided to add making a cloud shelf to that list. And thus, this thing was born. I roughly drew out the shapes and had my father cut them out from these two random discarded planks we had lying around. We measured how long the shelf part needed to be for my intended use, assembled the pieces, and then we were left with this. So, since this was an extra last-minute addition to this project, and this video is quite long anyway, let's run through this real quick. Here is the shelf all spackled up. Here I've added a layer of the paint primer. And here is the first layer of the actual paint added. I went for a very bright, almost pearlescent white kind of colour because I do want it to look like a cloud. And I think in the end I ended up doing about 3 coats on this one. And finally, here is the finished shelf mounted on the wall. And now, after all of that, it is finally time for the big reveal. That's right, the room is finally, after literal weeks of troubles and hard work and absolute anguish, finally done. We can finally see the result of all my blood, sweat and loads of tears, mostly because of all the spiders and the bats, but you know, that's a different story. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I love it. It's beautiful. It's so much lighter, so much brighter than it was. And it doesn't look like, you know, an asylum, because the white walls were kind of giving me that vibe for a while. So I'm really happy to finally have given it a bit of life, breathed some colour into it. I'm really happy with it. That's all I have to say. And honestly, that lamp looks just absolutely lovely as well. I'm really pleased with that lamp. I love the colours, love how it came out. It's great. I love it. Now, to remind you, this room went from looking like this to this. It's quite the change, in my opinion. Quite the good change, really. From plain white walls to calming colours and fun little interior details. From a tired-looking and worn-down windowsill to a freshly painted off-white coloured one. From this torn-up and damaged bedroom wall to this beautiful, smooth, lovely accent wall. From this worn-down, spotty-looking door and boring bookshelf to this lovely, colourful bookshelf and smooth, freshly painted door. So, that was the final video of the makeover. What do you think? Did you like it? Hopefully you did. I mean, I've worked really fucking hard on it and I'm very pleased with it at least. But, you know, tell me what you think, you know, I'm open to hearing it. If I find any more fun little projects to do, I will make videos on that too. Preferably some that are a bit smaller and don't take as many months as this one had. But yeah, I do quite like that. So I'm going to consider continuing doing that and having more of those. So yeah, but thank you so much for sticking with me through these 3 videos. And if you haven't watched the other videos, please do, like, go check them out, please. And I'm gonna leave a link to the playlist with the videos in it, so you can watch that if you want to. Hopefully you want to. Leave a like, leave a comment if you feel so inclined, you know, and subscribe if you want to see what else kind of crazy things I get up to and yeah, how I decide to torture myself next. So thank you once again for coming along, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Bye, 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 bye!